Come down to the station with me.
Can you tell me what for?
I think you know what for.
I don't, actually. I'm under arrest.
Would you like to be? Because if you are unwilling to come down to the station for a chat, I can certainly make that happen.
Oh, Commissioner, I'm sure this is just a little misunderstanding.
I am sure it is not. Someone has been stalking and threatening Stephanie Johnson and her fiancé online. And we have...
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel for an all-new episode recap of today's Daysofourlives, January 22, 2026. Obviously, y'all saw the clip, and I don't think Jeremy's still behind it, but I think somebody's trying to pin it on him because of his history with Stephanie. But before we get there, let's rewind a bit. So we have to start off with Stephanie and Jada, because Jada has taken the day off. How convenient to really just chaperone Stephanie around the place. Put on this front that they're doing some wedding shopping just to lure the stalker in somehow. They also had some, I guess plainclothes police around because Alex was the one who paid for that. Stephanie's surprised because she at first was wondering that, how did the CLMPD offer to do this, on their budget? And she said it wasn't a penny to them. It was really Alex's pockets. So she's surprised because Alex didn't tell her anything about that, but, she definitely can understand. And, she also saying, he really needs more the protection than I do because, the stalker really wants to get rid of him like permanently. So she didn't tell Alex nor Steve how she really feels about it, that she is terrified. She's terrified of what is happening, like what may happen, and it brings up old memories. Of course, I guess it has to do with her and Jeremy's past. And Jada's just comforting her, and Jada is saying, look, we're going to nail this person once and for all so that we can really focus on planning for your wedding. At some point they do go to the pub and meet up with Steve, and Alex will get into that at some point. Now, Jeremy was, before he was being sought out by Jada at the door, he was with Julie, and Julie was on the phone with Marlena, basically apologizing to her for how she came across, how she made that ill-fated joke. And, Marlena, assumably was just, telling her that it's okay, she accepts the apology, it's no biggie. And Julie just felt really terrible about it all, and she just, hopes that things can be different the next time around. She'll check in with her another time. Now she and Jeremy get to talking. He asks about how the book meeting was, and she said it went. Now she said, how is it that it's just quiet in here? So he says that the grandparents took Thomas and Charlotte out for pizza, for game, because they needed to cheer Thomas up again. So she's like, why does Thomas need cheering up? So Jeremy said that he still doesn't trust his father. Given the mediation, he still doesn't trust her. He still doesn't trust him, given the fact that, all right, Chad has definitely been with Kat, even though he promised not to. Again, I'm so sick of it, because at this point they have to be bowing to Thomas's needs all the time. Like, he's some little spoiled brat. Somebody really said it in the comments on Soaps group on Facebook that Thomas is definitely becoming the female version of Rachel. Well, the male version of Rachel. And it's true, because he's becoming really unlikable these days. Everybody has to bow to him, everything has to be tailored to him. No, you're the child, stay in your child's place. Anyways, Julie says Thomas needs to really learn to trust his father again. And I'm just thinking that she really want to say he needs to get over it, because at this point, what does that mean for them staying in Salem? What does that mean for the mediation, the agreement? None of them really know, but she asked Jeremy if he can talk to Thomas, since Thomas is one of his students. He's doing well in school, and Jeremy said that he would on his father's behalf if Chad wanted it to happen. Now at some point Jeremy tells Julie that he is planning to leave town because there's nothing for him here. It's just old memories. And she said, is it because of Alex's and Stephanie's engagement? So he said, he's happy for them. He just was caught off guard by it. When he came here, he thought that there was some hope for them, given that she wrote about him in her book. But then when he talked to her, she said there's no hope. She and Alex are a thing. And he respected that. He respected her boundaries, and he just backed off. But, there is a part of him that still feels for her, that she was the one that got away. And Part of him will always wish that, they would have worked out, right? But he gets that, he messed up big time. He hurt her. And yeah, he's planning to move on with life. Who knows where the wind will take him, but that's what he's planning to do. Now, on the other hand, Alex is at work and he speaks to Philip. He's just finding out about Brady being fired. And of course, he's saying, how could they make a big business decision without me? And, Xander frying Brady. And Philip said, like, he wasn't even there when it happened. He was just, brought into the loop himself as well. And, Xander, Brady's like, what? Not Brady. Alex is like, Xander having one of his temper tantrums again, just making this decision. What happened to all hands on deck? And Philip said it's still hands on deck. I mean, at the end of the day, it worked out to be a mutual decision, meaning Brady doesn't want to come back and work anyway. So it is what it is on that front. Now, at some point, Steve comes and, Philip is asking, like, why is he here? And Alex said that he's his personal bodyguard and his future father-in-law. So Philip said, oh, yeah, I remember seeing the engagement announcement. Congratulations, I'm happy for you guys. So it's good to see that there's no love lost between Alex and Philip, seeing that they both were with Stephanie. So that's good that we can all be mature on that, or they can be all mature on that. And Philip is wondering, like, I thought this had to do with Stephanie. Like, why do you need a bodyguard? So Steve tells Philip that the person is out to get Alex, like literally get him out of the way so that he can have Stephanie all to himself. So they tell him that, they have plainclothes police watching her. The commissioner is with her. And now he also needs Steve as backup right here to protect him. Now, Philip asked if, Titan could do anything to help with the security, and they said, no, we got it all covered. Now, they have their plan, and, Philip wants to know what's really going on, just to fill him in, because they do matter to him, they matter to the company. So they tell him that they are using the announcement to lure the stalker in, and hopefully it works out, and Philip is just hesitant about it because it may seem dangerous, but at the end of the day, like, they have to do what they have to do. I definitely am always happy when JPL comes on TV, because his facial expressions today was just, it was just too funny. Honestly, he's always a comedic relief. Now, at the hospital, this was way awkward because, Gabby was there, laughing it up with Theo, fueling his crush furthermore, because they're getting closer than I thought. And JJ comes in, it's all awkward. And JJ saying, he brought burgers. He didn't know that Gabby was going to be here. Would have brought another one. And Gabby said, no, it's fine. I have a date with Philip. So, of course, that rubbed JJ the wrong way. Theo peeped it. That's when he asked him after Gabby leaves. And, he's like, I knew you feel a type of way that she's out with Philip, and he's trying to play it off. It's no big deal. Let's get to the burgers. So they have a real heart-to-heart talk, which is the longest time they've had a good one in a while. Clear the air, have some closure on, Theo's feelings towards JJ, and JJ feeling guilty for, almost attacking Theo indirectly. And he said that he's been doing some more training, unbiased training. He's not going to use a service weapon ever again. And they're saying that's unrealistic, because what if you're in a high stakes mission and you have to use your weapon? It is what it is. Like, I understand that you're trying to not, make that same mistake again, but all you can do is just go about it better. And that's what JJ intends to do. Just, follow his advice and really do better next time he's in a situation like that, right? So they talk about his relationship with Gabby, and he thought that it was gonna, be good the next time he came into town. He thought it would work out the next time, but it didn't. And sometimes he wondered if, because he went back to the force, that's what caused it to really, really plunder, because he did blame Gabby, or he was looking at Gabby the wrong way, because, she was linked to the EJ, the mirror shooting, and he wrongfully accused her. Again, I don't think he's wrongfully accused. He just was doing his job. He was just going through all the suspects, and it just became, messy because they're involved personally. And I just think that's why it really ended. But, I don't know. I think that she has the most chemistry other than Steph, and I think she has the most chemistry with Philip. But as Theo said, it's not going to last long. And JJ even asked him, him, what does he mean by that? And he said, never mind. But, you're right there. It's not going to last long because she's holding this big old secret from Philip. And, it's going to really hurt when it is all found out, because I really do like their chemistry together. She's there with him and they're at the park off the square, and, they're playing this hockey toss game, I guess something about the business and some collection. And she's winning, and, they talk about Leo and Javi, how are they doing? And she's still upset with Leo for breaking Javi's heart. Oh, poor Javi at this point, but she's upset about that. And they talk about how they were so close until Dimitri came. It's like some movie, Dustin Hoffman movie, The Graduate, I think. And they talk about that. They talk about Stefan and how she feeling, that Rafe is going to find out if he's alive or not. How is that going to make her feel? And she's saying that, I do not want to hear that he's actually deceased. Even though I wished it on him the last time we spoke, I do not really intentionally, wish that on him. I still have, I still can't be with him at all. So at the end of the day, like, I only have eyes for you. I don't have eyes for nobody else. I want to be with you. So that stroked his ego a little bit, and he definitely, he has those insecurities. He want to know that he's really who Gabby want to be with, and Gabby assured him. So, yeah, that was it. But I do feel like she still has unresolved feelings. They didn't have much closure, and she need to give Leo some grace, because if Stefan ever came in, let's say her and Philip supposed to have a wedding, and Stefano just decides to show up in the middle of that. No, I'm sure she's gonna have unresolved feelings. She didn't have no closure with him. Yes, he cheated on her. Yes, he hurt her. She hurt him too by going around with his brother. Like, they messed up with each other, right? But I'm sure if he walked into their wedding, hypothetically, she would still question it. So I don't think she needs to give Leo some grace that, it happens. You're a human being. Sometimes some things are unresolved, and you thought that you dealt with it. You really need to deal with it. And I don't think she's really over Stefan, and because it really hit her hard that he passed. He supposedly passed away, and without even confirmation, she was sobbing. And yes, of course she was married to him, and yes, you were fond of him back in the day, but like, come on, it hit you really bad for somebody that you're quote unquote over with. Now, lastly, we have Jeremy and Julie. They are there enjoying pizza, and they get a knock at the door. It's the police. Jada, whenever she is personally involved, she wants to behave extra hostile. Now she said open up, so Jeremy opens the door, and Jada said, I need to question you. You need to come downtown with me. So he's like, can you tell me what's going on? So she said, when you willingly come with me, we can go down. And he's like, am I being arrested? So she said, no, but if you do not willingly come, I can make that happen. So Julie's like, is this really necessary? So she said, yes, it is. We definitely have information on Stephanie's stalker case, and the information is linking back to you. Now, they did go to the pub, and that's when Steve told Jada that he did find some URL that the stalker is on. They traced it back to Jeremy. He shared the information with Jada, but I don't think they told Stephanie and Alex about this. Stephanie also thanked Alex for having her back, the security detail. He didn't know how she was going to react, because again, she doesn't like nobody telling her what to do in decisions, but she appreciated him looking out for her, and they just want to just put this behind them and they can just move forward. But I don't think it's Jeremy. Like, do you guys think that, people are saying it's this Owen person? Like, how many exes does Stephanie have? I really want to know, like, how many exes does she have? Because I know there's Nick, I know there's Chad, I know there's Jeremy, Philip. Who else? I can't remember. Was there one of them Brady boys? I can't remember. Max? Yeah, but anyways, guys, comment below your thoughts of today's episode. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe to my channel. I will see you guys tomorrow.